सुनने वालों को सिराज ज़ैदी का बहुत बहुत प्यार भरा आदाब, नमस्कार and good afternoon. Welcome to Apna Radio, broadcasting at 93.9 Dublin South FM. Each Thursday from 3 to 4, I'm here broadcasting from the studio to the world. Tune me in. सुनने वालों को सिराज ज़ैदी का बहुत बहुत प्यार भरा आदाब, नमस्कार and good afternoon. You're very welcome to the program. You're listening to Apna Radio, broadcasting at 93.9 Dublin South FM. Each Thursday, I'm here with you, and I hope you shall be with me until we say goodbye to you about 4 o'clock local time, about 8 o'clock India time, about 4 o'clock, different European zone, whatever the time you're following it. And wherever you're listening me, do keep tuning in today because we have a very important guest in the studio, and I shall be introducing you them later on. But first of all, quite a few things are happening as usual. Charmaine is not in for some reason. She's some issue. I don't know what happened to the news item, but she shall be here next week. But we're not short of time. We're not short of news. And we're not short of content because Sharad has put together a lovely, lovely item about what is going on in the medical world in India, the corporate hospital corporatization of India that has been going on quite, recently and since in the last few years. In fact, he says that he'll talk about that, but I won't talk about that. But you have to listen to what he has researched, and it is shocking and frightening. What I have to say two issues. A is that, as you probably would have read in the press, read in the media, read in the Irish Times, the headlines are that Howard Lutnick, who is the chief economist of Donald Trump, is threatening Ireland. And repeatedly he threatened that the Ireland and the Irish companies, the American companies who are settled in Ireland and likes of Microsoft, likes of Google, likes of all these big giants of IT industry are based in Ireland, paying taxes to Ireland and not to us. Well, I mean, that's the law of the nation. I mean, if you set up your business in any country, you got to pay the tax to that country, not return back to your own country where you originated from. But that's the logic of this Howard Lutnick. I call it Howard lunatic. But anyway, this is the kind, everybody knows what he's talking about. Even the Americans are criticizing him. And erroneously, he mentioned 55 billion, euros, dollars that Ireland owes to America. And we are in debt in trillions, and they are a surplus in billions. So our surplus, let me put you in touch with the actual facts. Our surplus, which we have wrongly broadcasted too much in the media and the press, Ireland, while the rest of the Europe and the UK is in recession, Ireland is in surplus. Yes, Ireland is in surplus, but how much? Not 55 billion as erroneously Howard Lutnick has put together. This figure, I don't know where is he plucked these figures from. 15 billion, yes, we had a 15 billion surplus because it was a once-off, and it was the 10% tax which the Apple owed to the country, which they didn't pay. Why? Because obviously they were just trying to flex their muscles that if they can get away with the not even paying the 10%, which is a very minimum tax in any European countries. French have criticized Ireland, that why Ireland has given a special treatment to the Americans, because Ireland has an American relationship for years and years and years, and because of our relationship, the shamrock diplomacy, the long-going relationship between Ireland and America, these companies are here. That's why Microsoft is here. That's why all the other Googles and likes of them, they're here. So the bare minimum they can do is pay their dues 10%, which they were not paying. So that accumulated to 15 billion. And so the Ireland as a state has taken them to the European Court, and the European Court, we won the election. The results of the European Court was that they're obliged to pay. So that's the surplus he is erroneously mentioning, that Ireland is on having a surplus. Now, what does he mean by taking that back and sending a special envoy to Ireland from the American Treasury system to take the surplus of Ireland away from them? Now, that's ludicrous. I mean, who the hell he is to dictate the term to a sovereign nation and to tell the sovereign nation that, look, your tax is a scam. That's the word he used. He said, Ireland has to stop this scam, this tax scam that they are doing. No country can accuse another sovereign nation for the government for the taking a tax. Everybody pays tax. I pay tax. You pay tax. Every little, even the people who are having a pensioners have to pay the tax. That's the Irish tax system. So there you go. I mean, how can you do that? In fact, when I was talking to a lawyer friend of mine, and I said, is there any way you can legally sue Howard Lutnick for making that, slanderous statement? And if there is any legal action can be taken against him personally and to that. He said, no, we are nervous at the moment because we don't need to go down that road. We need to be careful. We need to negotiate with the US, and jobs are at stake. And this tariff war has to be softly handled rather than head on. However, talking about head on, Europe has declared a tariff war on America. If their goods are being taxed at a certain percentage, then American goods will be taxed as well. So all of that is culminating to a very uncertain economic environment. That's what is going to happen. Not knowing the fact that where Ireland was 40 years ago, if you remember, Ireland was the poorest of the poorest in Europe. We worked hard, country has worked hard, and the people have worked. The Indians do not used to come to Ireland because it was one of the poorest nations on European continent. Now there's a growth of Indian, and I'll touch on that later on about what is happening in terms of the popular game of India, which is a cricket. But before that, I will take another important subject today, which is the situation from India. A report from Sharad Awasthi is here, talking about the Indian medical system. That is what is going on in Indian hospitals, insurance companies, and things like that. So corporatization of the Indian system.
Thank you, and it feels great to be here again. For last few weeks now, we have been discussing specific systems in India, like the education system and the banking system, while keeping the big picture of governance, administration, and the impact it has on Indian population. Now, today's topic is a sensitive one because the entire nation is affected by the consequence of this system. It is basic to the society's well-being, and if we observe today, it is one of the most serious issue in the country. The issue is so large that there is no one solution to fix it. We are trying our best to bring some clarity today on the issue of corporatization of healthcare in India. It has introduced significant challenges that impact various facets of the medical system, like doctor-patient relationship, which is at an all-time low. Healthcare cost, it is all-time high and unaffordable. Medical autonomy for the doctors, that has degraded, making doctors sort of corporate slaves. The viability of small hospitals, the nursing homes, is poor, and probably all of them might come to an end. Ethical practices are getting challenged, both legally and conceptually. Employment security for the doctors, especially the young ones, is unfortunately like any other job market. Medical education is getting tough and very expensive. and the perception of healthcare as a service is lost. Overall, if you see, the public health focus in India is now up for sale. So that is the summary of what we are going to talk about, but with the main points that I wanted to highlight was the most harsh one, the basic erosion of doctor-patient trust. Not so long ago, there was a concept of family doctor found in all households, and they were trusted even for non-medical issues just because they were intimately and deeply involved with the family's well-being. There were commercial interest, of course, but the priority of finance was low as it was more of a relationship based. There was a trust there. The position of a family doctor was same as a respected senior member of the family. Today, all this has drastically changed for the worse. The Indian medical system has entered into an irreversible phase of corporatization. As a consequence, there is an increasing emphasis on revenue generation within corporate hospitals. And this has led to practices such as unnecessary tests, procedures, and extended hospitalizations, and all under the guise of protocols and policies. Doctors are often pressured to meet financial targets, which can compromise the quality of patient care. And this environment fosters patient perception of exploitation, and in many cases leading to an unfortunate decline in trust towards healthcare professionals. There has been various studies, and those studies have noted an erosion of trust in doctor-patient relationship in India. And this drop in doctor-patient relationship has been the contributing factor to the rise of aggression and violence against doctors. A survey by Medical Association revealed that up to 75% of the doctors in India at some point in time has faced a form of aggression or violence in their workplace. And the aggression by the patients and relatives towards the doctor and medical staff is not just a consequence of this broken relationship, but is also factored by the rising cost of treatment. So we come to the related issue of the cost. Now these corporate hospitals, they are profit driven, and these models of profit have resulted in inflated medical bills and expensive treatments. My rough calculation tells me that for an upper middle class hospital, it is about rupees 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh per day for an inpatient hospitalization. And let's say an unadjusted cost per outpatient visit in a private hospital is about 1,200 to 2,000 rupees compared to 500 rupees for a tertiary care facility, and it is just 150 to 200 rupees in a district hospital, or maybe less. So this disparity makes essential treatments unaffordable for lower and middle income population, and that is exacerbating healthcare inequality. One of the reasons is that doctors in corporate hospitals are often restricted from prescribing certain generic drugs because hospitals have exclusive tie-ups with pharmaceutical companies. All hospitals have a medical shop in their premise. A 2020 investigative report by the Hindu newspaper found that the doctors at major corporate hospitals were required to prescribe only specific branded medicines, even when equally effective and more affordable generic alternatives were available. Similarly, there is a publishing by the Brookings Institution, and that has also highlighted the prevalence of branded medicines being prescribed in the tertiary care hospitals. Why is this happening? Because there is a loss of medical autonomy for doctors working for these corporate hospitals. If you see the corporate hospital settings, doctors often function as employees with limited decision power. Now, they may be doctors, but they are restricted. They are required to adhere to hospital management protocols, which only prioritizes profitability. And this has restricted their ability to provide personalized care. The implementation of corporate-style management performance targets and standardized treatment protocols, it further diminished the professional autonomy that we are talking about. It may be ranging from small restriction to highly restricted environment. But then there have been cases like in 2019, a senior cardiologist in Delhi resigned from a reputed corporate hospital, citing pressure from management to increase the number of angioplasties performed. And he claimed that he was discouraged from recommending lifestyle changes or medication as first line of treatment and was instead pushed to perform stent placements, which are far more profitable for the hospital. Similarly, gynecologist in Mumbai was reported she was reprimanded by a hospital management for not convincing enough patients to opt for cesarean sections instead of normal deliveries. Now, C-sections are more lucrative for hospitals because they involve higher charges and shorter hospital stays, and that allows the hospital for more patient turnovers. Another Lancet study, 2018, found that nearly 50% of the childbirths in private hospitals in India were through C-sections, compared to around 15% in government hospitals. And this is only indicating a trend driven by financial incentives than medical necessity. There was a documentary, A Million Cuts, India's C-section Epidemic, and that was by Undercover Asia, and it reported that the cesarean section rate in India's private hospital is about 47.4%, which is significantly higher than the 15% threshold as recommended by World Health Organization. Now, there may be medical disputes as to C-sections versus normal, but the statistics and the finances speak for themselves. All these trends are also moving towards the medical malpractice and the unethical practices. The research indicates an alarming annual incidence of 5.2 million cases related to medical malpractice across various healthcare settings in India. Practices such as cut practices, where doctors receive commissions for patient referrals to corporate hospitals, and this can be comfortably termed as unethical behavior. Studies have indicated a significant prevalence of unnecessary medical interventions. There's a report which highlights that 44% of patients seeking second opinion were advised to undergo surgeries that were deemed unnecessary upon further valuations. And this has led to patients feeling exploited by unnecessary treatments. And overall, if you see, nationwide, it is developing a feeling of skepticism towards medical advice. So what is it leading to? Healthcare has become a business, not a service anymore. So if you look at from the patient's point of view, the plight of patients in India is heartbreaking, and it is reflecting of a system that has increasingly prioritized profit over human care. As human care has transformed from a compassionate service by a family doctor into a business, the most vulnerable in the society are being left behind. We know India, the government is feeding more than half the population with free ration. So all that section of society is left behind. Patient who cannot afford high cost of treatments or hold expensive insurance policies are pushed aside, and their needs are ignored in favor of VIP patients who anyway will contribute to the hospital's financial bottom line. Now top it up with doctor-patient relationship, the trust which has eroded, and the patients with enough policies feeling still exploited and unheard. From outside, the healthcare in India today has become a patient factory. This shift within this generation is unacceptable. That is what is coming to shock to this generation. The promise of healing and care has been replaced by focus of numbers, targets, profit margins, volumes of paperwork, test, retest, and moving around places to places, departments to departments. For those in lower income groups, the situation is even more dire. Essential treatments have become unattainable, and many are left with no choice but to endure suffering without access to proper medical care. In such a system, it is the 90% of the vulnerable individuals of India who are paying the highest price, both in terms of health as well as human dignity. the Indian medical system has failed, and all of us are caught in the middle, like powerless against the dehumanizing forces of corporatized healthcare in India. But then the big picture doesn't stop here with the patients and the services. For the doctors, for the aspiring doctors, this shift of viewing healthcare as a service to treating it as a business also has dehumanized their profession. Hospitals may prioritize VIP patients and those with better insurance policies, but then this is sidelining ethical considerations in favor of financial goals. The doctors are observing this violation, emotional violations every day. Probably by now, they are desensitized under the pressure of performance. The doctors are enticed and unknowingly they are caught in this system. Imagine dedicating years of student life to pursue the noble profession of healing, only to find that they are reduced to a cog in a profit-driven machine. Doctors who were once seen as compassionate healers are now under the pressure to meet the corporate targets. And there are administrators in the hospitals. There are managers in the hospitals who are dictating the doctors. I would recommend a book called Healers or Predators: Healthcare Corruption in India. So that's a fantastic book, and that will put the perspective, the macro and the micro level perspective of the healthcare in India, where the doctors are finding themselves torn between their ethical duty to provide the best care and the harsh realities that is being imposed by corporate-driven healthcare. There is an emotional conflict that can be seen in the medical community, and the entire staff is helpless. There are voices, people do speak up, but then they are all bound by the constraint of the corporate system, and that system goes against the fundamental human aspect of the profession of medicine. Because of this conflict, there are adverse consequences. According to Maharashtra Medical Council, in 2019, there has been over 100 suicides among medical students in India in a single year, because the aspiring students, due to the financial cost as well as the burden of competition, is causing mental health issues. And those in the profession, the doctor-patient relationship is crumbling under the weight of corporate policies. One can make a causal study here based on Medical Association's report of 2020, which said that more than 1,400 doctors in India have died by suicide in just 2 years between 2018 and 2020. Therefore, what I'm trying to say is that along with the patients, doctors deserve our sympathy, not just for their physical strain they endure, but for the emotional burden of working in a system that asks them to abandon the very principles they swore to uphold. It is an unfortunate situation in India. Dear friends, in the weeks to follow, we will talk about the other aspects of healthcare in India, only in the pursuit to explore the best way to make the medical profession as noble as it was again. The collective philanthropy which has eroded in the medical profession must be restored. With those thoughts, I leave you until next week. Keep sending your feedback, it is highly appreciated. Thank you and bye for now.
Dublin South FM.
You wouldn't buy a car without knowing its history. So why would you buy a story without knowing who's telling it? Come here and I tell you. It's not always easy to verify what you see, read or hear. But now there's help. Visit www.bemediasmart.ie. Stop, think, check. Be Media Smart. Brought to you by Media Literacy Ireland, supported by RTE.
93.9 Dublin South FM.
Welcome back to the programme, and that was a fantastic information that was put together by Sharad Awasthi from London, our London correspondent, who each week gives us a really eye-opener and shocking information about. The book he was mentioning is called Healers or Predators by Sanjay Nagral. So do check it out. It's available on the Amazon, and read it through yourself and see what's the state of affairs are in India when it comes to the medical practitioners who are supposed to be the healers and saviors of the lives. But it's proving to be the contrary to it because of the corporatization of everything. Talking about the corporatization, it is not only restricted to the medical section, it is also penetrating into my industry, in the film industry, because the corporates are now running the shows which you're consuming is Netflix and Amazon's and all the OTT platforms. So the quality of the scripts, quality of the movies are going down, and the corporates are the one who are running the show. But anyway, I leave aside these corporates and I will move on to another interesting corporate world. Perhaps they will tell us, is there any corporatization in cricket or not? Because what we're going to talk about is the development of the cricket in Ireland. You know, cricket and films are the two major religions of India. After films, which are very popular in throughout India, cricket is also equally popular, and the stars are very big stars. The cricket stars are here, and one of the stars is sitting in the studio today. And I will be talking and introducing you to ex-Indian national cricketer, the famous Bobby Narasimha Rao. Sorry, beg your pardon. You know, he's a national player, and luckily he is, part of Ireland now. He's based in Belfast. He's set it up an academy or coaching, camps and things like that. And now a huge new development is taking place in Ireland. The brainchild of Maruti Nambiar, who is also in the studio. Maruti has actually coined the term IDPL, the Indian Diaspora Premier League. You know, the Premier League IPL is very big in India, and that is perhaps the commercialization, the corporatization, and the big money spinner that is happening. This conversation has just come up because we had one of the film star recently visited Ireland. Big B's son, 𝐻𝐸𝐵 Bachchan, and I don't want to talk about why he came and what was the rationale behind his trip to Ireland, but he was here in Dublin, and because he owns a Maharashtra club, in fact, with his father, Amitabh Bachchan. They both own that team, and other film stars like Shah Rukh Khan, they own Kolkata Knight Rider, Preeti Zinta, who was Punjab club, and so there are many clubs and many these IPL clubs, and we'll discuss all about that. That how come all of that is going to be the reality in Ireland? But Maruti Nambiar, first of all, you're very welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us, Siraj Zaidi. I have to say, where Indian community follows,
Cricket follows. Absolutely.
And
yes.
cinema follows them as well.
Cinema follows to that, yeah, absolutely. And at the same time, Bobby G, very welcome to the program, and love to have you in the studio. It's absolute honor to have you in the studio in the program.
Thank you for having me, Siraj Ji. It's lovely to be here. Hopefully, we'll try and talk a bit of what Maruti has designed last year. So about the IDPL.
And of course, we were talking about bringing you here in the context of your own book, your own autobiography, which has also been launched recently. In fact, last year it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was marvelous to have you in Ireland, perhaps to shepherd the cricket development. What is that happening in Ireland? What's your view of this development?
Yeah, it's all about 35 years back when I was here, when I came to Ireland. Mm-hmm. I married an Irish girl from Strabane, and then we lived a year in Hyderabad, and then my dream came true that we won the Ranji Trophy and the Irani Cup for the first time after 50 years under my captaincy. And I was blessed because we had great players like Nawab Pataudi, Jaisima, Abid Ali, Abbas Ali Beg, all those stalwarts. I was the youngest player when I came into the side. So these guys could not achieve it, but I fulfilled their dreams because I was the youngest. Where no, my mom nicknamed me and called me as Bob G.
Okay.
Then when I came into the team as a youngster, like Pataudi and Jaisima started calling me Bobby.
Okay.
So that stuck to me. So yeah, it's now in Ireland. It's called Bobby Rao. They don't say Narasimha Rao.
Narasimha Rao.
Yeah. So Ireland cricket. When I came here at 89 and settled here, I just played league cricket in Northwest.
Okay.
And Cyan Mills, they gave me a job because Edmund Mill, they were very keen in cricket.
Okay.
So I played 2-3 years.
Professionally?
Professionally, as well as I worked for the thing. I came as a professional in 80 to Ireland.
Okay.
Before that, 77 to, I played in Lancashire League.
Okay.
It was an accident. It's a long story. It's in the book. You can know,
And does the title of your book is just Narasimha Rao?
No, it's Bobby, India and Ireland Love Story.
Bobby, India and Ireland Love Story. What a beautiful title it is.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And it's available on Amazon and all that?
It is, but at the minute it's not. We've been taken out because we did another print in India. Because I launched it in Hyderabad because a few of the things. And so hopefully it'll come on to it shortly, and we'll let you all know.
Definitely, and we'll bring you back into the studio to launch officially the book here on the Apna Radio as well.
Definitely.
Fantastic.
Definitely. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So, Maruti, this idea of IDPL, Indian Diaspora Premier League, where did this come from?
Sorry, there's a little correction. It's inter-diaspora.
Oh, it's inter-diaspora. I beg your pardon.
Inter-diaspora Premier League.
Okay.
So the whole point of Inter-Diaspora Premier League is to bring all the communities together for the love of the sports, So it's very important. We are all together in many other ways. We are nationally, we are religiously diverse
and different.
But there's one thing that combines, unite us all, shoulder us all together. Is sports.
Definitely
absolutely. Sports.
Absolutely.
And I see last year we saw that. Santosh would have felt that. Everybody who involved in IDPL have felt that. In fact, our utmost aim of IDPL is we have a Spirit of IDPL Cup, which is the epitome of all the winners. So the winning criteria is how well the communities come together is the topmost trophy, and next falls the winner himself. So it's about goodness. It's not about greatness.
Of course.
So this is a different take on cricket itself. It's in any sports. It's a different take. So we actually encourage goodness or greatness.
Lovely. That's a good thought.
That's a very
beautiful thought.
Important idea of IDPL.
Absolutely. And I've noticed that because of the various diaspora community expanding here, all the different regions, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Bengali, Punjabi, they all have the cricket teams, in fact, now. I mean, how many teams are there out there?
There are many teams here. Santosh Paleji is from Tarilstown. He can speak few words about his club. He has his own ground as well for Tarilstown. So and there's nice cricket club by Vinod
Pillai.
Pillai. So there are it's thriving really good. In fact, this year the subscription for cricketing, the professional level cricketing, so it's gone up to 3,000 people in just Leinster club itself.
Wow, 3,000 people just in Leinster. Oh, wow.
So which is a big milestone. It's not the same case 4 or 5 years ago. So last year or 2 years ago, I kind of had a prediction of that. This is going to go huge here, and then that's why IDPL should step forward, take over this great opportunity that's an offer. So I think Indian population is huge here, and then wherever they go, they bring their sport together.
That's right.
Sport as well.
And the Ireland cricket team is also gained because of the Indians and because of that.
Absolutely.
And they played in India, the Kevin O'Brien and those two brothers, and the one against Pakistan, in fact. In Bangalore, it was a few years ago. It was
beat England.
Beat England as well. Yeah.
But Pakistan, they beat in West Indies in the World Cup, and in India World Cup,
India
they
World
beat
Cup
England.
in England
in
as
Bangalore.
well. In Bangalore, I remember that. It was a huge success for that because Kevin O'Brien was at the opening of the first Indian Film Festival of Ireland when Prakash Jha came, and we held it, and he came as a guest. And my idea has always been to combine the films and the cricket in Ireland, a small country like Ireland, to celebrate it.
Yeah, but fortunately there were 6 or 7 players I coached were on that team. Including Kevin and Butterfield and all.
All right.
And the first test match when they played against Pakistan in Dublin, when they got in test, there were 9 on the field who I coached when they were over 10 or 12 years old.
Wonderful. And when you're talking about coaching, let's talk about what is your speciality? Is it bowling? It is a cricket? Is it batting? It is.
I was an all-rounder.
All-rounder.
I was a leg spin bowler. I replaced Chandrasekhar. Quick leg break. And I was a number 6 batsman. And over top that up, I was a forward short leg fielder.
Okay. Yeah. So all around.
Yeah, all-rounder. Yeah.
All-rounder. And that's what the main area of coaching is, or would you prefer anybody to prefer it to the bowling or batting?
I do the whole because I did my from level 1 to level 3 advanced coach with ECB. And then I tutored as well. There was no tutor in Ireland in those days, so I went and tutored. Then I tutored in the Northwest and Belfast, at least 150 coaches.
Wow.
For the span of 15 to 16 years.
Wow. That is a record, I must say that.
So we used to have, if you have a level 1 in Northwest, then we used to have level 2 in Belfast, then vice versa every year. So I did nearly for 18 years. Yeah.
And this trend of academies, cricket academy, Virat Kohli has set up in the UK, I heard, with Anushka Sharma. They invested quite a few millions by buying a ground and, cricket ground and setting up the academy. How is happening these things?
Yeah, in 86, when I didn't come down to Ireland to play professional cricketers because Hyderabad was in the finals of Ranji Trophy.
Okay.
In Delhi. And it was in April, it was clashing with so I didn't come. After we won the Ranji, I set up academy, first academy in the South ever in India.
Okay.
I set up where from that academy you have Lakshman, Vihari, and Mithali Raj.
Mithali Raj,
so I set up the academy. I took a school ground on lease and said that was the first academy in the South ever to have an academy. So then once I moved on, I gave it to a few people to run it. It's still going on.
Very
good. Got a lot of Ranji players on the thing. Yeah. So the same thing I did with Ireland when I came into the island as a coach in the Northwest.
You set it up an academy in the Northern Ireland?
Northwest.
Northwest,
yeah. And mind you, in Ireland, especially in the Northwest, once the cricket, the shutters fall in August end, then they didn't come back to hold the bat in April first week.
Okay.
But I was the first one to start an indoor. I got Foyle College.
Okay.
And we put nets in it. And people used to think, he's mad. So we started, I remember we started indoor for under 15s. And
in the winter and then
in the winter.
Yeah.
So then that slowly, as we developed the rest of the cricket all around Ireland,
brilliant.
Then you had the things. Now they play all year through indoor competitions.
In the competition and everything, yeah. No, I mean, and is there any big money corporatization is involved with these Premier Leagues? What do you think, Murthy?
Basically, Inter-Diaspora Premier League is not about money. It's basically about getting
the community
the
together.
community together.
No, of course.
That's very bottom line. Of course, if there is money in when you think about it in corporate levels, but we are not focusing on that at the moment. Our main focus is that cater cricket to
combine the communities,
and have them play together and enjoy. So it's about our teams will be split into different communities, but other communities will be playing for other community. It's like,
I know last year Maruti just phoned me and said that he was starting the IDPL thing, Indian Diasporas thing. So immediately I said I would come and help him. This is very important for the Indian community who have come and settled from India, from various parts of India. The whole thing is these guys have come from India. Probably if they wouldn't have taken the jobs and other things, probably they would have played Ranji for India or anything. Because the circumstances, they have to find jobs and get on with the family. They came over here. And this IDPL will be the vital thing to fill their dreams.
Lovely.
Yeah, because they all can come together. We had last year Hyderabad team won the thing.
Okay.
And we have a Gujarat team. The Hyderabad coach is here, Santosh is here. And Rajesh is here. He looks after one team.
Well,
so there were eight teams from different Kerala, Gujarat.
Okay.
So it was brilliant to see them. They're coming together and playing as a whole big unit and family and competing. Because I'm from Hyderabad, I'm from Kerala. That spirit is there. They all can go and play leagues and other things here. But coming under this banner, they're uniting together and they're enjoying the competition as well. Again, I tell you, one more major thing is there. Any young cricketer who's born here or who come young, one of these people's children, who's talented, like you see the guy from Kerala, a 14-year-old played for IPL. We can identify them.
Yeah.
They might come, and this in years to come. This will grow. I know.
Absolutely.
Cricket is our passion. India's cricket is a passion, and I will do anything for Indians.
Lovely.
I'm here.
Absolutely.
I'll do anything, especially for cricket.
Yeah.
So it's a great format, and we have to really thank Maruti's idea.
Yeah.
And we got Santosh and Rajesh and other guys here. I know they'll put the shoulder to the
wheels. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very good.
Let me ask you another question. Is this idea that exists in the UK or any other country in the world, Australia, diaspora idea?
I think the government spoke about diaspora sport.
Okay.
I know about a year and a half back. I must have heard from the Prime Minister or somewhere. But, when Maruti just came out, that was the ideal thing. It was something. No, it's every one of you.
Everyone.
And thank you. You got us here to talk about it.
Not at all.
Which will spread. Thank you very much. You're playing a big part on it because media is a big part. And all these guys. But I'm here to support them.
Sure.
And give my time.
Yeah.
That is where very much.
And your name and experience and huge legacy that you carry as a coach, as a national player, ex-India's national player, would certainly would add to the IDPL's credentials and the importance of the IDPL when it'll be up and running fully and will be very successful. And of course, this news will travel back to India as well.
Definitely.
Because we are living in social media. Absolutely.
Because of you.
Super.
Yeah, that's very good.
And we have Rajesh. He's our spokesperson as well from IDPL. So he can have a few words about IDPL.
Rajesh, can you talk about that? Let me introduce the IDPL. Do you want to say views? Oh, please.
Thanks very much. Look, when Maruti came up with this suggestion of doing an Inter-Diaspora Premier League, we were all excited. This is something we as a nation full of cricket enthusiasts, and we play cricket. We want to pass it on to our next generation as well, and it's the best entertainment and passion for us. When he came up with that idea, we were thrilled, and then we put our hands together, 𝐀𝐩𝐧𝐚 and Sai and Richard, and we, of course, we got help from Bobby G got involved. That was the best part. So we are getting into shape. The last year we had the IDPL. It was a great success. We had a great turnout, great participation from all the teams, and it's not just the teams and the players; it's the community, the families, and the children. I think that's the best part I observed.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all had a best time, and the best team won.
Yeah. Do you want to say a few words?
Yeah.
He's the winner. The team's the winner.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, Siraj ji, and it's amazing to hear Bobby Rouse J's story. And I know there's a lot more. We can read it in the book that's coming out. And coming to IDPL, Marci, thank you very much for bringing that idea and implementing it. I know many people from India, they have this idea, but, to implement it, go and bring the aid to the embassy and to, everywhere, wherever you can, and bringing all the communities together. It was amazing, brilliant, to be honest. I was representing the two Telugu states, Telangana and Andhra, and we had Hyderabad Royals as one of the team, and it's brilliant. I could see there was there was so many skilled players, like in Chennai, Gujarat, Kerala teams, and everywhere, all the teams that participated last year. I think, and coming to our Indian, we know our kids are going to play for Ireland, and there are many already, playing under 12s, 13s, and I think it's brilliant. And Marti ji, I should thank you again. We are the we are the champions for last year 2024.
Super.
And looking forward.
When is the next one is planned this summer? Sometime this coming summer?
So for this year, so we planned it on a very, very auspicious day of Independence Day.
Oh, right. The 15th of August.
10th of August, that weekend.
Okay.
So it'll be like sparking.
Absolutely.
It'll be really a big rivalry. You will see on the pitch, and people will come there. The spectatorships will be huge this year, we are expecting.
Wonderful.
And then we will have everybody catered with food, everything.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be sparkling.
Wonderful.
So, and because it's going to be on the Independence Day, I'd say the spirit is high.
Spirit is very high. Yeah. And is it 20 overs or what is it? A day? How do you play this?
So last year we had a tournament as a T10 tournament.
T10.
So we had two pitches. So it was one day happening. Okay. But this day, this year we will have 2 days as a T20 in a different 2 different days.
Okay.
The 10th of August will be the finals. There will be 4 matches played.
Okay.
And then that will be on two pitches across. 2 pitches and then across, 4 teams will be playing. So you'll see
lovely.
That the spirit will be so high than international games this year.
Wonderful. And I'm looking forward to it, and I definitely will try to cover it as much as I can and give you publicity for the leading up to the match as well. And of course, that time of the year is very good. So once again, my sincere thanks. And I haven't played any music today or any track. So listen to this wonderful track that I have put together, because my program is talk and music, and we can't live without music, as you probably wouldn't know. So let's play this track, please.
From every diaspora, far and wide, we gather here with hearts and pride. The IDPL, where dreams align, a league of nations, one grand design. Beyond boundaries, we rise as one. Together we shine. The journey's begun. Diasporas united under the sun. Beyond break the walls, we build the ties. The world's our field where unity hails. Through IDPL, our voices say, together we forge a brighter way. Beyond boundaries, we rise as one. Together we shine, the journey's begun. Diasporas united under the sun. Beyond boundaries, the victory's won. World is a nation of expats, and we for welfare everywhere. World is a nation of expats, and we for welfare everywhere.
Okay, wonderful. Fantastic. World
excellent.
is a nation of
Expats.
Wonderful, wonderful expression and a beautiful. And that's the IDPL's national anthem. First time is going to be, released here on Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM. So once again, thank you very much, Maruti, for bringing the national anthem, playing it, and indeed tying it with our discussion today, which was a very well discussion talking about IDPL, talking about cricket in Ireland and things like that. So wish you the best. That's all I can say. And it'll go like a bomb, I must say that, because it's a new idea, it's a new thing, and it's the first time that is going to be anything which has been tried first time. I remember years and years ago when the first Indian cinema I released in the cinema. Before that, people used to watch in the DVDs and VHS cassettes. But when we released it in the cinema, people just came from nowhere. And it was an amazing experience, fantastic. And now it's all over the place. Fantastic. So once again, Bobbyji, thank you very much for coming along all the way from Belfast.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Rajesh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Maruti,
Thank you,
thank you
Siraj.
very much.
Thank you.
No doubt you'll be back again. You know the studio, you know where we are, and you've been here before in Maruti on some of in your short films that you produced. So it'll be fantastic and great to have entire team, everything. So so that's all, folks. The hour flew away, and that's all I have. See you next week. Enjoy the weekend. Bye for now.
याद करेंगे के लोग हमें याद करेंगे। सोए, नाम तुम्हारा हम लेकर जागे हो। याद तुम्हें हम करके सोए, नाम तुम्हारा हम लेकर जागे हो। सारी दुनिया रह गई पीछे और निकल आए हम आगे। अब दुनिया से हम न डरेंगे, अब दुनिया से हम न डरेंगे कि लोग हमें याद करेंगे, कि लोग हमें याद करेंगे।